Hey, y'all, welcome back. Season 2, episode 2. I'm going to have to get used to saying season 2 before everything now. Tonight, we brought back one of our special guests. He knows the NBA and basketball, I'd say more than Kevin and I, or about the same level. So, Cyrus, welcome back as we talk about the NBA and NCAA basketball for this upcoming season.
Hello,
Yes.
man. Welcome to you. I'm glad to be back.
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's so excited.
I got my bull stuff on too. I got my bull
Oh,
stuff on.
we're all just sitting here going, let's
Yes.
go.
So it's really cool. This is really cool because Cyrus, I know you have been asking for your own episode, and you said when the NBA comes back, let me know. And I remember Mary and I think I literally thought about this episode maybe on like a Saturday evening. And I was like, oh my God.
It was like Saturday.
Mary,
You were like, well, let's have Cyrus on. I was like, oh, sure.
let's have Cyrus on. So Cyrus, this is your episode, sir. Welcome back to season 2, episode 54, but episode 2 of season 2.
Stop
Great to
confusing
have
people.
you.
Don't confuse people.
I'm trying to keep track because I want to make sure we do something special for when we get to episode 100.
Oh.
See, Kevin has some sort of brain.
We
cell.
have like a
Stick
long way to go.
Hey, gotta make sure it's there. Gotta make sure it's there.
And you never know. We might be canceled by then. You never know.
Well, knock on wood that we don't. Thank
Fingers
you.
are crossed. Fingers are crossed. Well, Cyrus, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I know we're going to have a very rowdy, I think is the best way to put it, conversation.
This is gonna be all over the damn place today.
As we like just combat each other with our basketball knowledge and our thought of that we're better than everyone else because of our teams, except for Kevin's, both of his teams. Sorry, Kevin, love you, but yeah, no. So let's jump into this. Kevin, the team that plays in the arena that you work for, both of them are good.
See, the world is honestly ending. I don't know what to even make of it, but it's been great. I will take it as a person that is in that arena. You know, the vibes have been good. It's been a packed house every single game this year. And the games have been entertaining. I've been at this stadium for 10 years now, and I don't think it has been hopping as the way it has been this year. So I just think it's, kudos to the coaching that the Jets and Giants both have. I mean, definitely we can say the two of them are probably neck and neck for coach of the year right now for the NFL. But it's a great thing that New York is making it happen, because New York football in the cold is like no other. If they can continue this like whole trend, I mean, I would be excited for those fans out there, but it's cool. It's good to see them doing well. I was getting really nervous that like Saquon Barkley's best years are going to be wasted, but now it's a little comforting to know that they're making it happen. I'd still feel that Daniel Jones is definitely not the answer. And then the Jets on even the quarterback side on that side, I don't know if he's the answer either, but the Jets have a hell of a defense that pretty much won them that game at Lambeau Field last week. They got some exciting young talent there.
They're projected to have the rookie and rookie defensive player of the year and offensive rookie player of the year right now.
Yeah,
after 6 weeks.
Holland is and Sauce, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I honestly think that like if they keep this up, that's exciting. That is definitely exciting for them.
That goes to show you though, right? Coaching does make a difference, because that's both of them virtually have had the same team. Like I think the Jets,
You're right.
The Jets thing I think was probably coming. It was just a matter of them getting draft picks in and getting better players in, because they knew they had a couple bad contracts, right? But the Giants, they're virtually the same players. I mean, he even said Kenny Galladay down, who's garbage. And he was like, "Yeah, I can't."
When your offensive lineman has more touchdowns than your first round draft pick and a guy you signed a massive deal to in a 2-year period, there's some issues.
Yeah.
But they are winning without having to throw to anybody. Their leading receiver, I think I saw, only has like 200 yards receiving. I think something like that. It's super low. He's like,
isn't that's like the third or fourth string wide receiver?
I think Sills
Richie,
has.
is it Richie James? Is that the one?
It might. Yeah, Richie or Ricky James. Yeah,
his name got hurt because Tony got hurt. So Tony got hurt, right? Yeah, Tony got hurt. They benched Galladay, and they're down to like their fourth or whatever it is.
Who was the other kid?
He just came back last week, Darius Slayton.
Yeah, Slayton. So we'll see if he can actually play. We'll see.
I mean, they've been getting the ball, and if it's not going to Saquon or the receivers can't catch the ball, they've been getting to that tight end. They've been getting that tight end to Bellinger. So he's been the other one that's been scoring touchdowns for the Giants. But hey, whatever the coaches in New York are doing, kudos to them. Let's see how long this can continue. And as long as they continue to keep drafting like they have in the last couple of years, it can only go up from here.
Yep. Well, let's keep with the football trend because we have a couple of things mixed in here. Deshaun Jackson at the age of 35, after not playing basically for the end of last year and the first 6 weeks this year, he is signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Cleared his words are escaping me.
Your
Wow.
next clip for the Instagram. I love it. Do you just want to know our thoughts on Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah, let's just go with it because I can't.
All right.
Literally, I'm like trying to think of the word, and I'm like,
for me, I was
physical.
Thinking,
he passes physical. There you go. How do you do that? Sorry.
So for me, Deshaun Jackson, I mean, we know what he's done in his career. You know, speedster. He's been all over the league right now. Is this what, his 6th or 7th team?
I think his 8th team.
Philly, Rams, Raiders. Did he play down in Tampa?
Yeah, he played down in Tampa for a
hot minute. Tampa,
Ravens. He didn't play in Carolina. Maybe this might be his 5th or 6th, I think.
Yeah, it might be his 5th or 6th. I thought he played 2 seasons with another. He played 2 seasons with another team. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He played 2 seasons with another team. That's what it was.
So it's the Eagles.
No, he played Washington too.
Yes.
Yes.
Eagles, Washington, Tampa Bay. He had a 2nd stint with the Eagles, the Rams, the Raiders, and now he's on team number 6 with the Ravens. I mean, Lord only knows that the wideouts that Lamar Jackson has to throw to pretty much are abysmal, and we probably can get some passes from him too. But hey, if it gives him another body, shout out to them out there.
But the only thing I would say about Deshaun Jackson is this: I don't know because his problem is never been catching the ball. His problem has been when they jam up at the line. Yeah, that too.
That's his biggest problem. I think.
That and when they jam him up at the line, he doesn't get it. When it's a big physical receiver, he can never break him. And then after that 1 year with the Eagles, he stopped going over the middle. So that was his MO. Nobody's like, okay, well, we have a guy that can go. We have another guy that can go vertical. I don't need you around if you're not going to go across the middle. And if you're not going to get across the jam, and he's never been healthy. I don't think has he ever played a full season.
Once or twice. Kevin, you are muted. What are you doing?
Well, I didn't want anybody to just hear me drinking water, so I muted it for you guys.
Oh, you're so nice.
I know. And
guess what I'm gonna do? Drink this water and not mute it.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not even gonna talk about it. But you see, I think Deshaun, to go back on topic, Deshaun Jackson. I feel like he's always had like a good year, but it always been like halted because he got like hurt.
Yeah,
Or something.
and
He's
it's
been,
all
like,
or he's like last year where he was a stellar wide receiver on the Rams for the first
yeah,
few weeks, and then all of a sudden gone. And then he got traded to the Raiders, and the Raiders I think released him because he just didn't play well. But it was like,
yeah, he did because he said no in both stints, Mary. He was like, well, the first time he didn't get thrown the ball with Stafford or whoever the quarterback was, and he was upset about that. So he was like, I don't want to be here, go through his own Antonio Brown thing. And then he did the same
Antonio
thing
Brown.
But then he did the same thing with the Raiders. Like, haven't you figured it out, dude? You can't be the target every play, and you can't be the guy every play. That you've lost that already.
Yeah, that's him though. That's what he's been. He's very, very good. He knows his worth. He knows what he's brings to a team. But at the age of 35, this is your last stint.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. I don't see him coming back after this year, but good for him for getting some more guaranteed money, put it somewhere else in the bank, and more for his kids later. I hate this one. The MLB playoffs.
Yeah.
The Yankees won. The Guardians totally screwed the pooch on that one. The Yankees are the only, I think, no, the Astros are won over 100 games. So the Yankees and Astros are the only two teams that won over 100 games moved on, because the Dodgers and Braves both lost. And apparently the series with the Padres and Phillies is actually thoroughly entertaining because the Phillies won last night.
Yep.
At least that's what they were saying on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, whatever it was, for the Eagles Cowboys game. They're like, it's been crazy around here. Philly fans, Eagle fans, 76er fans. I'm like, the 76er fans don't count. They're not real. They're not real. Sorry if you're a 76ers fan. I'm just going to trash on you all night. So buckle in for the ride. So that's good there. But let's just get into this. The NBA tips off. The majority of the games are tonight and throughout the rest of the week. Last night we had 2 games. We had the Celtics. My Celtics play the 76ers. We had Kevin's Lakers, which we will definitely talk about here shortly. Play the Golden State Warriors. I watched the ring ceremony for the Golden State Warriors. They literally had everyone that was on that team last year in the stadium, because one guy plays for the Lakers.
Yep, Juan Toscano.
I don't know who the other dude that was just in street clothes is.
He doesn't even.
Off the street.
He doesn't even have a team. He doesn't even have a team to play on.
I was gonna say I don't think he's playing with anybody right now. So,
he's just a guy on the street.
Nobody
would know who he is.
The only issue that I had about the whole thing was when they were doing like, here's your championships throughout the years, like, specific players stuff. I was very, very mad that they didn't have Andrew Bogut. Very mad.
Well, you know what? Maybe you can make it.
True. Or David Lee. I love those guys. Like, those guys were pinnacle to get you there.
Again,
Josh Richardson, Baron Davis.
They didn't win championships.
I don't care.
I mean, I do love that believe Golden State team like everyone else does, but they didn't win a chip.
Yeah, unfortunately. Most beats still looks like he could get on the court and just rumble and tumble a little bit with some guys if you wanted.
My goodness, madness.
Listen, I like how they did the rings though. How they made it specific for every player. Like, so, like, if some of them had 1-4, it was in their ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah,
because I thought it was cool where they showed off like that like Clay, Steph, and Draymond's like, yeah, we got 4 trophies in our ring, and everybody only has like 1. I think one other person maybe had like 2. But I thought that was.
There's only one other person too.
What's name's got 4 in there? Iguodala's got 4 in there.
Yeah, Iguodala's got 4.
Iguodala, that's right. He's been there for all 4 of them.
Did Kevon Looney was Kevon Looney there for all 4 too or no?
I think he was only for like 2 of them.
I think he's
because
there for
remember
2.
he was a rookie like after that came in when they won one of their first ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't think
he's got. I think he's
all of
got
them.
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole's face when they gave him his ring was so funny. He was just like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, a kid on Christmas. Like that was cool.
I would be too. But it's just kind of crazy. We talk about for the start of the NBA season. Like I watched that ring ceremony and I'm looking at some of the guys on their team and I'm like, damn. If they really went at it, I love all of our teams out here, but they could make a case that they could probably win a couple more championships if they develop properly.
Well, or they stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, but I think now he's going to go back to the formula he had the first time run around with the strength of numbers. Because if you think about it, 1 through 8 or 9, I'm not going to say all 10, 1 through 8 or 9, he can put out there. They'll be competitive.
They all could 1 through 9 could easily go start on any other team, any team in the NBA.
Right.
Easily.
And that'll be his thing. He'll run that up until about the first or second round in the playoffs. It didn't, by the time the conference finals roll around, he'll shorten their rotation and say, listen, have 8 guys here, just be ready if your number gets called.
Yeah.
Which again is fine. That's the way basketball's supposed to go. You're not supposed to have 10 players play, when you get to the big game and stuff like that anyway. So yeah.
When does that happen? I don't know if I've ever seen a game where everyone played. It only happens if it's a blowout loss or a blowout win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just very rare. And that's what I said. To go 8 or 9 deep on the team.
Yeah.
Hey, I will get paid what those guys get paid to be a practice player.
I would.
Yeah, I would. Let me go sit in the ice bath afterwards because I'm old, and not in that shape. But sure, I'll take it.
You think about it. The average guy sitting on the bench, his salary is over $2 million. $2 million. $2 million a year after taxes and paying everybody. If you do have more than one publicist or whatever rule it is, which I don't think you should, at that point, you're probably coming home with a little over $1 million, maybe a little.
It depends on where you live. First off,
that too.
Like
let's just say he lives in a state where you got to pay taxes and everything, normal.
He's probably making just barely over $1 million.
Exactly.
Or just under.
Still, I mean, that's still pretty damn amazing. I would love $1 million right now.
I'll take 10,000, 100,000. I'll take that. I don't care. Money is money, and I can take that money and do whatever I want with it and flip it and do other shit.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, since you told Cyrus that you weren't going to talk about your jersey until now, can you tell us what knickerbocker you're wearing?
I really trust Sprewell.
So I was looking through my closet.
I think it's Allen Houston.
And okay, Cyrus, would you like to take a guess?
I'm going to say John Starks.
Ooh, that's a good one. I wish I have a John Starks.
I think that's just the jersey color and like how it's made up is too new school.
I was looking for a jersey to wear. I was originally gonna wear my Porzingis jersey because it's an authentic, but I couldn't find it.
Ooh.
And then I was thinking about possibly wearing, either a Knicks or I was definitely gonna either wear a Knicks or Nets jersey because they're playing tonight. But I didn't want to wear any of the newer style jerseys because they're a little too tight and I ate a lot today. So I went and found a jersey, and it's funny you mentioned him.
Oh, that's hysterical.
It's funny you mentioned him because it is David Lee.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
David Lee. I got it even autographed by him when I was younger.
Why do you not have that in a frame?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't have. When do I have time to go get a frame, Barrett? Let's be
just
real.
Go to Michael's with said jersey and have them frame it for you right on the spot.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like that. I would do that
in due time. It will probably happen. But yeah,
5 years
David
from
Lee.
now, we'll ask him.
Yeah.
He'll still be rocking it and wearing it. We'll be like, oh.
Yep, because it can still fit over my body. Then that means I'm wearing it. So shout out to my guy David Lee, one of my favorite Knicks. He came within a great draft class with Channing Frye and Nate Robinson. Shout out to Nate Robinson. If you guys don't know, he's been dealing with a lot right now with his health.
Kidney failure, right?
Is what he's got. Failure. Yeah. But that I always love this class, and I will never forget. There was a game. It was against the Charlotte Bobcats where the Knicks had like maybe 0.5 seconds left on the clock, and then they threw a oop to him, and he taps it in, and Gus Johnson is on the call and absolutely loses his shit. And I will always remember that forever. But so, and also, shout out to David Lee, because other than Spreewell in Houston, he was like the next all-star until Carmelo came. So shout out to David Lee out here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
David Lee. I liked watching David Lee and Channing Frye. Those guys were always good players to watch.
Yes.
Nate Robinson.
They always played really well. You always knew what you were getting from them. They never let you down. Like every now and then they may have had a bad game or two, but they always had like, you knew Shannon Frye was good for about 10 to 15. You know, he'll give you about his 10 to 15. You know, David Lee would give you his double-double. You know, that those are two guys you can kind of plug in anywhere. You knew they were going to give you something. So that's pretty good. I like
they played hard. Yeah. And this was during an era of where like Knick fans just wanted to see you play hard on the court, because they were just sick and tired of just getting guys that were getting money, and you could tell that they were playing for the money. So like when they started bringing guys like Channing Frye and David Lee and Nate Robinson, where like after they finally booted out Larry Brown because of the mess that he was causing, just to like see guys excited to play and run up and down the court and hustle. These were guys that, as a Knicks fan, you know, you look forward to watching. But enough about my Knicks fans. Obviously, I already know Merritt was gonna wear a Celtics hat. I just didn't know which one he was gonna wear, but he's got a nice 47 brand one.
Yeah, it's a brand new one. My wife was just in Boston/Salem, Massachusetts this past weekend, and all I asked for was, I was like, "Hey, can you grab me something Celtics related while you're up there?" Dude, she said she went to like 3 stores, and like the third one actually had Celtics gear, like some decent stuff. I was like, "Wait, what?" Like that makes no sense. The season's literally around the corner, so you'd want your stuff out right now. But she got me this awesome 47 brand hat, and then she got me a t-shirt that has the original Big Three, if you know who that is.
Okay, all right.
And it's just like a circle with their names and like a iconic like old school Celtics logo and stuff on the back. Nice. But I did have to bring out, you know,
is that Marcus?
Oh yeah, I had to rock the Marcus jersey tonight because, you know, that man shut down everyone he played against last night, besides Harden getting one. I think Harden scored 3 points against Smart all night when he was
and almost had his arm ripped out of his socket by Joel Embiid.
Dude, I hate Joel Embiid for like the simple fact that they gave. I understand giving Marcus the technical for reaching and him touching Joel's leg, right? But Joel also like played that up and was like, "Oh." And when
but he does that to everybody. I mean, that's his thing. That's his thing.
That's his MO. But like the simple fact of you watching Marcus's arm get bent backwards and Joel's just like swinging away, like Vora's not getting anything. Like that is a foul. Call it, and let's move on. But I did like Marcus's reaction afterwards. He goes, "I could have broke his head in if I wanted to." It's like, okay, you're still a dog. Not gonna fuck with you. Nope, not gonna do it. That's why you're my favorite player on the team.
Back to the Oklahoma State days.
Yep. And Cyrus, what do you got on over there tonight?
I have my Bulls. When they had, what was it, last year? They had when they came up with the secondary alternate uniforms. This is their shirt.
Nice.
Gotta love it.
I like it.
Yeah, it has all the championships on the side here.
That is fire. I dig that.
Yeah, and then they're all in the back too. I would get up and show you, but I ain't getting.
It's
It's
all
good.
good. You relax.
Oh, Kevin,
Relax.
and that reminds me because of what Cyrus just said. Kevin, we are definitely when we go to Boston, we are buying last night's jersey.
If they have them available with
Oh,
sponsor patch, I will absolutely buy them.
Yes.
I don't even care if it has a sponsor patch as long as it has the diamonds and everything on it. I don't care.
I don't need listen. I would want the shorts. I don't even listen. I'm not a big Celtics fan. I'm a basketball fan. Period. But I've never been like like get like Celtics gear and stuff like that. It's just they've always been plain green and white, whatever it was. I would get the shorts that they had on last
I
night.
just love those jerseys. Last night's
those are sweet.
those jerseys were clean.
Yes.
So I'm happy about that.
And you know what it is? It's a different look too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing that because I am so used to seeing Celtics as like that emerald green, but that like forest type green, that is cool.
And I saw someone post like the past 4 years with the city editions, they change them every year.
Yeah.
And you had like the gray one, you had a black
I have that one.
They had like two others, and I was like, the best one was like 2 years ago when it literally was just like green and it said it was the old like Boston like logo on the front where it's just like the check like the box writing. It looked the nicest. I was like, that's the best one. That's easily the best one out of them.
Yeah, because
until last night.
Yeah, because they changed ever since Nike took over. They've been changing them every year. What they've been trying to incorporate some of the things from the city. And the last couple of years, they've been trying to incorporate the city plus whatever I guess theme they may have had. Like this year, if anybody sees like the Sixers, they have brotherly love written on their city uniforms.
Yeah.
It's white with brotherly love. It's it's a cream color looking type of jersey. So they did the same thing with the blue. So they do it for everybody's jersey. But this year, I think they're going to get a couple of them right. I mean, a couple of them. It's too bad Minnesota Timberwolves stink because their uniforms are hot.
They're always so cool.
That's true.
All right, Kevin, do you have any cards for us tonight, or should we just jump into fantasy
tonight? No cards. We can just go right into the fantasy mix.
All right. How'd you do this week?
This past week, I was for my 3 leagues. I was 2-1.
Good for you. I went 1-2.
I better than 0-3 than last week.
That's true. That I went 2 weeks in a row 0-3. My teams in my 2 money leagues have literally just gone from like being stellar to we're just gonna shit the bed.
Yeah,
crap all over you. I'm going.
I have one league where I did not even realize that my starting wide receiver, one of my running backs, my tight end, defense, and kicker were all on bye, and I don't even know how I missed that. That was a huge faux pas. Wow. And there's one league where like I'm literally trying to find scraps for like my running backs. So it's been a journey. The best league that I'm really surprised I'm doing super well in is my last minute $30 buy-in league with all of my good friends here. That league I am like in second place overall. And then the one I'm doing the worst in, I'm now like 3 at 500 is my big money league. But it's a long season. I already won at least $20 back because this is the league that I get money back for whoever has the most points scored throughout the entire league. So plenty of time left. I'm just trying to be patient, but you never know. Fantasy, it's sometimes you just got to it's just rolling dice. And speaking of fantasy, I am currently in a fantasy basketball draft.
Oh, God.
I am in one with my cousin Noel. Shout out to my cousin Noel. He is he works in sports. We're gonna plan on getting him on the podcast as well. Meredith, I told you about him off air. But our league, we've been doing the league together for the last 3 years, and we could not find a date where we could sit down and actually draft. So we're literally doing an offline draft where it's an Excel spreadsheet, and we have like a whole Facebook Messenger chat where they're like, all right, did you pick yet? All right, so-and-so picked. Now it's your turn to pick.
Oh
And
my
literally,
God.
it's been going on all day. So right now, started last night. We are currently on round 5.
Wait. This
So
Wait,
started
round 5?
last night and you're only into round 5?
What?
because
Bro.
so the league is of 12 people. Half of the league, the people are on the West Coast. Some are in Oregon, some are in California. I think one is in Texas. So literally, we're trying to mesh all these damn time zones. So we're on round 5. So if I tell you guys to stop in the middle of the podcast, it's because they somehow made it back to my picks again. So if anything, you guys can help me pick my team that I have.
You got it.
Yeah. So far, my team is Tyrese Halliburton from Indiana,
Okay.
Devin Booker from the Suns,
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell, and then Nikola Vucevic. I had the 12th pick out of 12. So I have the snake around.
You got Vucevic as your starting center.
That's a good spot.
It's tough because I didn't have anybody else available. The other guy like
You need
that.
and
The
you need to
snake,
have that.
You need because this league is head-to-head categories.
Oh, really?
So whoever wins the category gets the point.
You just have to hope Vucevic actually makes it through a full season.
I know. That's what makes me nervous. But because I had a plan of who I wanted, and literally the 4th round where the snakes back to me, all the centers went. Sabonis, Miles Turner, who else am I missing? Rudy Gobert. They all went in this last round. And I'm like, well, I need to have a center while
I would take Vucevic over Rudy Gobert in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So that you got a better deal on that one.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, Vucevic won't never get what Rudy Gobert is at, but offensively, he'll give you more.
He can actually shoot.
Yeah.
So
Rudy Gobert doesn't know how to take a shot that's past 5 feet.
Yeah,
it's rough. He's no Wemby.
That guy.
That kid just.
Hey, listen, that kid is going to be a good player, but he has to go to the right. He has to go to the right situation. There's no way he can't go.
He's going to the Magic. He's going to the Magic.
No, he might end up at the goddamn Kings. Which is
no. All right, stop. If he ends up at the Kings, he's done. He's done. There's no way because there's as much as I love the coaches there now, right? He's 7
Did you see what Mike Brown was doing during practice today?
Talking about my God. Did you see him run down that court?
Put the fucking Jets on.
Oh my God.
Hey, you know what, dude? I'll give it to him. He is a passionate human being, and I love it. I really hope he can figure this team out because they've been in purgatory for 20 plus years at this point.
It's heartbreaking.
You know what would fix that, right? Just spitballing this, if you think about it. The thing that would fix them is this. They need to get out of the owner needs not that I don't know if the owner is really truly in the way. I don't think he's in the owner
No, they need to get Peja Stojakovic out of the way.
Yeah, they need to get a lot. They need to have one person, one sound mind, and go with a singular focus on how they want to build the team. Because every year they go from when they had DeMarcus Cousins, they went to get all these big men and everything else to then win a bunch of guard play. All right, figure out what you want. You got De'Aaron Fox. If De'Aaron Fox is De'Aaron Fox is your apple, right? You got to find a way for him to branch out and get these other players to work with him. So maybe you can't go get a dominant big. Maybe you need to get a guy that complements him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way you got to work it. And I thought Halliburton was a good in between player for them, but they wound up trading him. I don't know why Sabonis is there. Sabonis doesn't do anything for me there. You brought
he don't even want to be there.
Well, but you brought Bagley in from Duke, which I thought was a good deal because he was again another in-between player that could play facing up in the post, and he was young, so you could work with him. But then they had
where's he at now?
He
in Detroit.
He went to Detroit.
I was gonna say I thought he was there.
But I mean, I don't even who was the coach before Mike Brown. It was
Oh God, I couldn't even name him.
I don't remember. Luke Walton.
Yeah, but then
there was an interim head coach.
Yeah,
they let him go.
Then it was somebody before him. It was somebody before Walton.
I don't know. They have too many.
Whoever it was, they just Sacramento just doesn't. I don't understand. They had that really good run with Chris Webber and the rest of them that long time ago. Then they had a decent team after that. For some reason, they decided we'll just go back to doing it the old way. No, the way you were doing it before was working. You got to get players that are going to complement each other. You can't just go get random damn players and just put them on the court. It just doesn't work.
Yep.
Well, with that, let's go talk about the NBA, as we've literally just been bantering for 5 minutes about the Sacramento Kings. I'm not getting those 5 minutes back in my life.
I mean, we knew that was going to happen.
That's true.
This is going to happen.
That's true.
Rolls.
So let's just start off with this. There was a lot of transactions up until literally 3 weeks ago in the NBA offseason.
Right.
What are your thoughts on some of the bigger transactions, or a transaction that, you think is truly going to help a team move on or take a step in the right direction? I know there's a lot, and don't bring up the Lakers because we're going to talk about them in a few minutes.
I think one deal, there's two deals that stick out to me, but I think the one deal that really is a big one, and of course I'm going to talk about it because, you're a Celtics fan, but that Malcolm Brogdon deal that the Celtics pretty much gave away like a bag of cereal for, literally probably a runaway heist for an all-star that I think can really, really complement your team. And he looked good yesterday.
16 points off the bench. And they were talking about, they're like, he's a guy who was his couple years in Milwaukee was an all-star. And then he went to Indy. He got hurt. He would never stay healthy. And he coming in now as a 29-year-old saying, yeah, I'll come off the bench. I'll be the second guy, first guy off, second guy, whatever you need me to do. And kid torched it last night. He looked good.
He looked really good.
Well, I tell you where that worked out for him, because they needed a point guard. The Celtics needed a point guard at the end of that series at Golden State to stabilize everything. Not that I don't like Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is more of a combo guard. So Marcus Smart, when he puts me in, and I hate to say it, I'm a combo guard. In any situation that I'm in, if I was playing in, like, say, college and up, I'm a combo guard. I'm in between a 2 and a 1, right? That's what Marcus Smart is. He can shoot the ball, but he also be the guy that can facilitate. And sometimes that gets miscued because you don't understand what you should be doing, because you've always been taught to be that aggressive guy, right? And they needed a stabilizing guy. I think that was a perfect trade for them. Come to the finals or the playoffs, put him in. Him and Marcus Smart could be in the backcourt. You can have your 2 forwards, and then you can have your big man. That way, you're not.
You don't even need a big man at that point. If say you play Golden State, say the Celtics and the Golden State match up again, right? You would run it as Smart, Brogdon, White, Tatum, Brown. See what that does, because the only person on that court that's going to be big is Looney, and that's okay. If Looney's getting your points, I'd be okay with that.
Oh, you mean when they go to that small lineup?
When they go to that small lineup, you throw those 5 in there.
The small lineup has Draymond at the 5.
Yeah. Okay. So that defense is scary with those 5 Celtics players, because they're all really, really good defensive players. Yes. Cyrus, what would be, or Kevin, you said another one. You said there was 2. What was the other one that you thought of?
So I thought that I thought about 2, but the one I really liked was the Brogdon one. So there's 2 more. One of them was very early on in the summer, and that was that Atlanta Hawks trade in which they brought in DeJounte Murray, adding in a complimentary star for Trae Young, which I think is going to be extremely interesting. I also have the Knicks game on too. So far, it's 5-5 on my end. I don't know.
Mine's way behind. Mine's only 2-0 still.
Yeah.
Mine's is 5-5 too.
Okay, thank God, Cyrus. Appreciate you out here. But that deal is going to be really interesting for Atlanta to have a lot of those guards together. I'm interested to see how Trae Young and Murray really play well with each other, see if they complement each other. And
I would
that
tell I would tell you that trade would do well for them, but what I would say is,
With a grain of salt.
yeah, it because you in everything got to look at it. If the goal is to win a chip, right? How much further can DeJounte Murray take you, right? Because right now you don't. Because right now you have a decent five, you have a decent three, and then you put those two guys in. So those Trey Young is probably the explosive out of the two. DeJounte Murray is a consistent player. So yes, you'll always be in games. Now the tough part would be, when matchups come, you're going to get beat down low. What do you do?
you're right.
What do you and that's and that's the thing about basketball that's tough. Like once you get past the regular matchups, it's no longer about schemes and getting anybody open. It's about matchups because my guy has to be your guy for 7 games. That's just the way it has to work. And if anything, the finals actually proved that this year. They had Golden State had 4 or 5 guys on the team that you had to beat, and if you couldn't beat them for 7 games, you weren't going to win the series. That was just plain out what happened.
I know my team lost. Let's stop talking about it.
Sorry, man.
Hey, you know what? You know what? At least my team made it.
All right.
When was the last time the Knicks sniffed an NBA championship?
1999. All right, I'm sorry. But the third move that I think was a really big one, and no pun intended, but Rudy Gobert going to the Timberwolves, I thought is a huge deal because now Cat is, instead of him playing center, he's going down to play power forward. And now you got 2 big guys down there paired up with D'Angelo and budding Anthony Edwards. So I think that team is gonna. Do I know if they're gonna jump and maybe win a series in the West? I don't know, but I definitely think they should be able to win at least a playoff series.
You want to hear something funny?
Mm-hmm.
Cat's not going to be on that team by the end of the year.
No, he's done.
You really think so?
He doesn't want to be there.
I can tell you where Cat's going to go. Y'all, you're not going to believe me when I say it, but I'll wait to say it because we're talking about this team later on.
All right, well, that's all I had. So, did you guys have any thoughts on any of the offseason moves?
Yeah,
so, I did.
All right, go, Cyrus.
I actually thought the deal getting Donovan Mitchell over in Cleveland was huge.
That was one of mine.
I thought that was huge because that team is on the rise, and all they needed was a guy to come in that somebody else that can score. And it's a shame they had to go with Sexton. And I think if Sexton goes to the right team, he'll make that team so much better because he was a very good guard.
I think the Jazz, though, they have they got their new head coach, and he's apparently a very up and coming head coach,
right?
From the Celtics organization that was the number 1 on everyone's list that was looking for coaches this year.
Right.
So I think he goes into a good situation. They're in a rebuild, but they're not in a rebuild. It's kind of that in between. They're like, oh, we have good players. We have this. The only thing that they're missing in Utah is good jerseys. Their jerseys are trash.
Yeah, the new ones are ugly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just do a Volt yellow jersey. Yay. You're not Oregon.
Well, they brought back the purple ones. They brought back the purple ones with the mountains.
I just want you to put that one out because that actually looks nice. Even the ones with Kirilenko when it was like the baby blues and that wasn't even bad. Stop with this stuff. I'm going to agree with Donovan Mitchell, but and I'm going to agree with Brogdon because that was just stupid fleecing of the the Pacers. But the one that I think is going to pay dividends as the season goes on is actually the Blake Griffin signing to the Celtics. The only reason I say that is because last year, you saw a team that had a lot of 3-point shooting. Great. When you played up against big guys, you had two big guys that you go up against, Horford or Rob Williams. Rob Williams is out for the next 3 months.
Right.
He's not going to be playing at least until January, maybe February, right? Okay. Noah Vonleh, though he is a decent NBA player, and he played pretty well last night against a guy that's probably got 70 pounds on him, he's not sustainable long term.
Right.
Also, Al Horford is 36, 37 years old.
Right.
Blake Griffin, 33. Is Horford a better overall player still? I think so. But Griffin comes with a tenacity and a drive that is like Marcus Smart's. So I think throughout the season, you're going to see that, when he has the chance to shine and play more, I think he's going to play big dividends, especially down the road.
Yeah, I agree. I would just say he has to make sure he stays healthy.
Yeah.
He has a bad hat. I know ever since that knee operation he had in Detroit.
Yeah, where he screwed up his knees and he just was never the same.
Yeah, it hasn't been his game hasn't been the same. He hasn't had to have that burst or that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he needs to dunk over everybody to get to a point, but that burst or that movement to get him from left to right, to get the guy from leaning one way or another. Because the big guy's game is only about 15, 16 feet out. You don't need to go any further now unless you're really a stretch four. So to have that lean, to get the guy to lean one way or another, then get that quick burst to get to the lane is great to have it. He had the quick burst, plus he can get over top of you. Now that he can't really get over top of you, it's kind of like I got to wait for it to happen type of deal. So, just make sure I would just say to make sure, he health wise, he stays the way he should be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think with being on the Celtics team, he will stay healthier than say he was on keep him on the Brooklyn Nets. He's probably going to play more in Brooklyn.
Right.
Because they don't have a ton of players on the bench.
Right.
He was like the fourth guy brought in off the bench last night. So that's fine. Let him. He's going to move around, circulate. There'll probably be nights where he does start because Horford's going to have a night off.
Yeah.
But we'll see. This one I saw, and it's kind of interesting. It says it ties into the one after this. But to start the season, we've already seen some pretty decent injuries. Kevin, your Lakers are down their 2 point guards, basically. Russ does a hamstring injury. And freaking Dennis Schroeder has a messed up thumb. So he had surgery on that. You're also seeing, Rob Williams is out. You're seeing these bigger name players having injuries already. So it's going to affect the start of the season.
Who else is out? I didn't know that we had that many injuries.
I saw a couple other ones. They weren't like big. I think Dennis Schroeder's injury is like the biggest one.
Yeah, there's really nobody else. Yeah, there's really nobody. I mean, if
they're all like hamstring
or
shoulder or something like that. It's nothing like that's going to keep him out forever. Schroeder's out forever.
Just to correct you, FYI, Merritt, that hamstring injury by Westbrook is really not an injury.
Oh God, no, it's not. He doesn't want to play.
He didn't want to sit the bench. That's what.
I just love Charles Barkley calling out the Lakers GM, basically saying that he screwed Westbrook up. This is not fair to him. He's somebody that wants to play, and you screwed the pooch. So with that, let's talk about the Lakers.
But there are no. Okay, sure.
Don't worry.
I love it.
Don't worry.
I love it. I love it.
Mister, I just want to go with the flow. We're going to stay structured.
Yes.
What? You said you're going with the Lakers.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So what are we talking about?
Shall we start with last night or should we start with the offseason? Where would you like to start with the Lakers? Would you like to start when they signed LeBron James?
Honestly,
we can go way back.
Go with the offseason. You got to go in stages: off-season, regular season. You can do it that way. Go that way.
Okay.
Oh my God,
Well, I will say, let me say this.
Go ahead.
My favorite highlight of the offseason for the Lakers is that Pat Beverly's on the team. And I think LeBron has never, ever in his life had any sort of point guard like Pat Bev ever on his team. So that helps. But I honestly, for the Lakers right now, in my opinion, and this is a hot take, they are wasting LeBron's last years. They are wasting LeBron's last years right now.
LeBron is wasting his last
I was
years.
going to say LeBron is wasting it.
Though
LeBron had a chance to walk away and go do something else. He decided to stay.
he did. He pulled a Tom Brady and came back. He pulled a Tom Brady.
He wants a championship. He wants to wait to play with his son, whichever. But still,
unfortunately, he won't be able to play with his son. But that's okay though.
I mean,
no, he could. He could.
Bronny can't cut. Bronny is not coming to the league. Bronny is going to go to the G League first, or he's going to go Ohio State.
Bryce will probably come to the NBA faster.
Hold on.
That is my hot take.
Hold on. Yeah. So now I have two hot takes.
Here we go.
Now, number one hot Pandora's
take. Box.
So, hot take number one is
I blame you.
The Lakers need to make sure that Anthony Davis can actually make it through an NBA game with his feather ankles and legs, because the only way that the Lakers are going to be able to do anything is if he is going to be able to stay healthy. And right now, the Lakers need a lot of help. But hot take number two. So if you're an NBA team and LeBron wants to play with his son, you're not telling me that you would do whatever it takes to get Bronny on your team, and so you can have LeBron come with you as well. It would be a package deal.
It's not the point though. Right now, he's already said to Bronny, I don't want you to do something that you don't want to do. And if Bronny doesn't feel comfortable taking that leap because he's not comfortable playing in this environment yet, he's not going to do it. Yeah. Bronny, listen.
He's going to go to Ohio State. He's going to stay there for probably 2 to 3 years.
Exactly.
He's going to I think, honestly, Bronny is, and I think, Kevin, you and I have talked about this, Bronny is a good high school basketball player. Yeah. I think having the name behind it has added to his luster and that glow that people see. Now, granted, I did see a couple highlights for his game a couple weeks ago, and he looked stunning. It looked like he turned a page, which is great. Everything that I've read, everything I've seen, Bryce is going to be that kid that's going to, once they approve, coming right back out of high school, being 18 or 19 years old, whatever they're going to change it to, he's going to do that, I think. I honestly think.
He's already 6'6". He's already 6'5", 6'6". He's already got the height to go.
Yeah, Bronny's shorter than him.
Yeah, Bronny's going to top out 6'5". If anything, Bronny's going to top out at 6'5".
That's a good shooting guard right there. That's a good shooting guard. But let's talk. We'll go back to the Lakers. They brought in a guy that hates your other point guard. Straight up, they hate each other.
Right.
They are not friends. This does not work. I don't care that it's LeBron's best, probably one of the better point guards, mindset wise and defensively, that he's ever played with. Because he's had some pretty damn good point guards. Well, Kyrie Irving, when he was not crazy, was really good. He's still really, really good. He's just a little loco.
Yeah.
But this experiment that is going on in LA needs to be blown up. And I truly believe it starts with the GM going to LeBron and saying, we're not doing it your way anymore. We can't. And to me, the Lakers and the Celtics are the two most storied franchises in NBA history. They always will be. I don't think you'll ever see more teams get to that pinnacle like the two of them are. The Celtics have taken the right step in the direction. The Lakers traded away everybody. They traded away draft picks. They've traded away. I thought the dumbest move was getting rid of Josh Hart. I thought he was phenomenal. Then they got rid of the kid.
Ingram. They got rid of Ingram.
But it was a kid from last year they traded off in the middle of the season who was actually pretty decent. And I can't remember. Was it Thornton? Kevin,
Taylor
Thornton got traded during the offseason.
off
offseason.
Yeah.
But like,
That's how they got Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
Why do you want to keep getting older when it's been proven that doesn't work? You got to have young talent around you to make up for how bad they shot last night. First off, because that was atrocious. But both teams shot atrocious in the first quarter at from the 3-point line. So,
well, again, you got to remember if you're there's the biggest thing about basketball, right? You got to figure out how you want to build your team. Is it defense? Is it shooting? Is it driving to the basket? Is it post ups? Is it transition game? There's tons of things that you have to figure out, right?
who's the big white guy?
Hartenson. They got him from the Bulls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not that bad.
But I just never understood their game plan even before they got Russ, right? I didn't understand the game plan. Like they had Rondo, and I thought, all right, having Rondo as a backup point guard is great. Rondo doesn't have to start necessarily. He could be the guy that ends the game for you. But you knew you had LeBron there. And I said, okay, well, then you could run it like a point guardless offense. You could have LeBron do his thing or whatever it is. Knowing full well Rondo's not a really great shooter. You can have him be the guy at the end of the game. That way you can at least, figure out how the game's going. To come back with no point guard at all, then to go back and say we're going to get Russ. Russ needs the ball in his hands 24/7. He needs to get every rebound. He needs to dictate the pace. I mean, there's no way in basketball lore when that's ever worked. It didn't work in Houston. It didn't work in OKC. It didn't work in Washington. So if it didn't work in the one place that it should always work is in Washington, because Washington's never been good except for a couple of years in between. It didn't work. So that's an obvious sign right there, right? If it didn't work in Washington, it wasn't going to work there. And I just don't understand it. It just doesn't. And to bring Pat Bev in, I think Pat Bev is a great guy. Is a great player. I think he's not a starting point guard. He's a come off the bench point guard. He's a sixth man. He's a guy because he's not a consistent scorer. If the guy's going to start, he has to be a consistent scorer. Because they went down, like, what was it? Like they went down. They were almost down like 5-10 points when he starts the game. It's really tough in basketball, it's really tough to play from behind consistently because you got to work that much harder in order to get back into the game. There's just no way around it.
It's true.
And that's what they keep every game. If you watch them, every game that they play from behind, where they get outplayed by the guards and get outplayed by the coaches that understand what they're doing, they lose because by the time LeBron gets his 30-35 and get back into the game, he's gassed. And then by the time the middle of that fourth quarter hits, that 3-point shot is not there. That drive to the basket isn't the same it was, in the first quarter where he's dunking over somebody. It's a layup. It's a finger roll. It's a kick out to somebody for a three who, again,
and hit a three.
Yeah. So,
Cyrus out here dropping bombs, people.
Well, I mean, but
yeah.
Let's just blow it up.
Here's the thing I'm going to say, though. Remember I was saying earlier about Minnesota? I believe that by the middle of the season, if not by the middle of this season, by the end of the season, Cat from Minnesota, Karl-Anthony Towns, will end up on the Lakers, pushing Anthony Davis over to the 4. They will have a hybrid 4-5, and they still have LeBron there. They'll find a way to move Russ. And then put Cat in, and they'll try to find a way to get another point guard or two. And I think this will be their last gas next year to try to get LeBron a championship. And then after this, I think they'll go. I think everybody
I'll
go
right back. My wife's calling me.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So go ahead, Si.
Yeah. So I think that they'll just after that they'll wipe everything out, and they'll just start all over again.
So talk to me about that, Cyrus. While Merritt is on the phone, talking to his wife. Shout out to him. So with that,
Hold on,
would it be? Go ahead.
She totally forgot that I had my podcast tonight. She's like, "Oh my god, you have your podcast. I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Why'd you answer?" I go, "Because last time you called, He had a pop tire, so I was making sure he'd have a pop tire.
Shout out to her.
All right, sorry, what did I miss?
So Cyrus. So ladies, shout out to Cyrus's hot take saying that by the middle of this year,
or next
Carl Anthony Towns will be wearing purple and gold.
But like
here,
that
Cyrus,
take.
explain to me what's that trade gonna look like?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like
so
the money won't equal out.
What that trade will do is this. They'll probably wind up trading a couple guys off the bench. It'll be like not just Scott or Anderson. It'll be a couple other guys. They'll try to see if they can move Westbrook. I'm going to be honest with you. What's probably going to wind up happening is they're probably going to wind up making a 3-team trade in order to fit this all in.
They would need it.
Yeah,
so
the money's not. You wouldn't be able to do that straight up because the money won't equal out.
Right.
Add in the draft capital that Minnesota would probably want in return. I don't know if the Lakers have more picks left.
But that's the thing. I think what's going to happen is, and I don't know what the third team is. I'm just going by what I think I've seen from the way everything's going in Minnesota. Cat's going to go there because that's the only place I think Cat can really go, because he can't go east because everybody in the east has a legit guy that can play his position or does something better than him.
Yeah,
right?
but I think he would still be successful in the East, depending on the team that he goes to.
No, I'm not disagreeing. That part I'm not disagreeing with. I'm just saying that everybody's
it's just a tougher route to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, everybody's set up for that. Like, so for him to go east, he would have to go to a true contender because he couldn't go to, let's say he couldn't go to the Sixers and replace. He couldn't go there either.
He could. We just have to trade away the farm.
Exactly. That's the thing. So you would have to trade away the farm there. He couldn't go to Brooklyn because Brooklyn have to get rid of just about everybody. They don't really have it.
Who wants to go to Brooklyn? I wouldn't.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about teams. He couldn't go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee would tell him, "Listen, you can't. We can't have you playing the way you play.
We already have a you."
Right? So they'll throw him. He'll be gone. He can't go to the Sixers because they would have to get rid of the farm there. Miami could take him. The Heat would take him, but again, they would have to get rid of a lot in order to get him, and that's not Pat Riley's MO.
I think that Miami wouldn't have to give it up as much as you'd think, and that could almost be a straight up deal. Because money-wise, all you need to do is you probably throw in Bam. You're going to get rid of Bam. He's going to go up to Minnesota, but that wouldn't make sense for Minnesota because they already have a defensive stopper in Gobert. But let's just say they take Bam as your choice, right? Bam, Duncan Robinson with his contract.
Right.
What, Towns is making 25? 26. Those two combined, you're already past the salary. Your salaries are matched.
But remember, Pat Riley. He's never just gonna come back and take those two for straight up. He's always gonna
he's gonna want something more. He's probably gonna want a minimum of a second round draft pick, at most a first round draft pick 5 years from now.
Right.
But that would work because that would clear Miami from a horrible contract with Duncan Robinson.
Right.
The highest grossing person ever to come out of great state of New Hampshire. Good for you, Duncan. Good for you. And also get you away from, I like Bam, but I also think Bam thinks he's the number one player on his team. And on certain game days, he might be the 5th best player on his team.
Yeah.
So he needs to go somewhere where he can still be the 1 or 2 option. And going to Minnesota, even if you keep it at Gobert, Bam, Russ, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, you have 2 prolific shooters, right? You have a defensive stopper who's going to out-rebound anybody. You have another defensive stopper who's going to out-rebound. They're going to try to out-rebound each other each game and probably place bets on it, who out-rebounds who and who's buying dinner after the game.
Right.
But Bam also can shoot. Bam has the ability to step back to 18 feet, better than Gobert, not as good as Towns. But you also bring in a guy who needs a fresh start in Duncan Robinson, who
I can see
typically
that.
is a
That
light
could
out
work.
shooter.
That could work.
I think that would work. I think the Lakers would work, but the Lakers would need to give up a lot, even if you do a 3-team deal.
Well, here's the play. Here's the kicker too, right? There's 3 teams that can lump into that really do need to get a new fresh start. Kings we talked about, the Pacers, which the Pacers deal
They've
is
already been trying with the Pacers, and the Pacers told the Lakers to screw off.
right. But if you put a 3rd team in there to get all this done, who's to say that Indiana doesn't say no? But again, let's just say Indiana does say no. Take them out, right? So you have the Kings, you have Oklahoma City, whose Jet Holmgren just got hurt. He's out for the season.
Yeah,
right?
they're not going to touch him. That team is.
No, I'm not saying him. I'm not saying him, but that team does need to get somewhat moved around. They got
20 first round draft. They got 20 first round draft picks over the next 5 years.
I'm not talking about them. They're
good. They're good.
Okay, they're good. All right, so get past it. But my point is, there's a bunch of other lower teams that need to get people out of there to get fresh starts.
I could see Indy. I could definitely see Indy if you do a 3-team deal. Indy gives up Turner. Turner goes to Minnesota. In return, Towns goes to LA. And you almost, depending on the ask, and depending on how you want to look at it, LA gives up AD. Do you give up?
I think you need.
That's the question. Do you give up on Anthony Davis and give the keys to a kid who is proven to stay healthy and also do the exact same thing Anthony Davis can do?
Only if
that's the biggest question.
Here's what I would say. I would say yes, because right now Anthony Davis has proven that he can't stay healthy. Now, what I would say is, if I'm moving him back east, which is good, because I don't want to keep him out in the west, because he's going to come back and bite your ass in the west, right? He can't stay in the west. He's going to come back to bite you if he's in the west. It's just the way it's going to work, right? That's just the way the life is.
He's going to go into misery in fucking Indianapolis, so it's
right.
perfect.
So, but think about it this way: if he goes to Indianapolis, it's a fresh start with a team that. He won this championship. In all honesty, I think he could reserve to say, listen, I've won my championship. I was on championship teams. I've done my thing like I was supposed to do. I'm fine with that at this point in my career. Not unless the only way that Anthony Davis will win another championship right now, he has to go to another team, take a lesser role. That's the only way he's going to win another championship now, right? So he can go to Indiana.
I just like watching Kevin. Yes.
Yeah, the big white guy that you just were talking about before, Hartenstein, just did like a really good hustle play, and he's about to go up and one. 27-28.
Well, now it's 28-28 now.
I got 28-23.
Shout out to Isaiah. He's from Eugene, Oregon. Shout out to him.
Nice job.
Nice.
Oh,
well, and again, as a Knicks fan, so just sorry to dive off the trade talk, but that's what New Yorkers want to see. They want to see people playing hard and winning, and not things like that happening. But
all right, so let's
continue.
Let's move on from the Lakers talk, because we've been
you spent like a good 2 hours.
We're basically being a dead horse.
Right.
Sorry, everyone, if you don't like that analogy, but that's the best one I got.
It's rough.
Pick one team.
Okay.
From any conference. Who is the one team that you're paying attention to this year? That is not our team. So I'm not picking the Celtics because it's stupid. You're not picking the Bulls, and Kevin, you're not picking the Lakers or the Knicks. I wouldn't pay attention to. I'd probably pay more attention to the Knicks this year, to be honest, than the Lakers. But let's not pick our.
Not pick our teams. Okay.
So,
Cyrus, you first, sir.
Washington Wizards.
Okay.
All
right. Interesting. Why?
Because if that team does not do well, because they've been trying to get pieces so much together, trying to keep the core with the new coach and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Beal needs a new home. I can see him make a home. I can see him make a home let's say top 6 teams in the league. I don't, however you want to frame them. I can see him going to a top 6 team in the league and maybe making the finals this year. Is his first playoff first. First playoff.
That man. I think the only issue you're going to come across is no one's going to touch that contract.
I agree. But if somebody like I said, by mid-season, if somebody has a couple cash off injuries, things happen, and you need that guy to come in, like you said, you're talking about maybe dumping AD if something doesn't work out or whatever it is. This may be the opportunity to go put this guy in place. He gives you 30 points a game plus defense. He puts you right back in the mix again.
Yeah, you can get rid of AD and Russ in one package.
Yeah, or any team. I'm just
saying, and they can keep Porzingis.
Any top 6 team, think about it. He could put him on the Sixers. Say the Sixers don't work out, right? The thing with Harden and the rest of them don't work out the way they want. They could drop Tobias Harris and a couple other players, bring Bill in, and then boom, there you go. They got their guy that can come, that doesn't necessarily need the ball to score.
That's true. All right, Kevin, what about you?
I went and looked at the teams now of all of the teams in the NBA. One team I'm looking at, New Orleans Pelicans.
I was going to pick them, so I will change my vote to a different team, but
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. I want to see them do well. I really do.
I want to see that same team that we saw in the playoffs that gave the Suns a run for their money added with a Zion Williamson. Because I'm just picturing, can you picture that team and the hustle and bustle that they were giving and add in a big man that they can throw the ball into with some pure athleticism in Zion? I'm hoping that boy stays healthy. I want him to be healthy. The league wants to see him with his exciting game.
The league needs him to be healthy.
Yeah. We need him to be, they need him to be healthy. And by all means, if anybody has seen his media photo, he has put in the work and looks phenomenal. So I'm really hoping that they can really continue that trend and maybe make a push this year, maybe win a possible playoff round, and we'll see how much of a star Zion is.
I agree. That Zion picture they showed from his rookie year to this year,
crazy.
Even from last year to this year, because we all saw what happened in the first off season. Zion did not take care of Zion. Zion got a little big, and that probably added to everything.
I think what Charles Barkley said to him, he took to heart. When Chuck was talking about how he had that, and Moses Malone said, "Listen, Coach said I'm not going to play your bleep behind if you don't get your butt in shape." Maybe this got stuck to him. Like, listen, I can't.
Listen to the guy who is a very big human being. You want to go get your money, Zion. Play well. But I do want to see him play. He did say they asked him if he was going to play this week in the first game, and he said, "Oh, hell yeah, I'll be in there." So I'm excited. I think that team with Ingram, I'm a big fan of Josh Hart. I think he is a stellar player that can come off the bench or be a starter, depending on the team. And with Zion, all of them are good.
Is Josh Hart with the Pelicans now? Or is he with another?
Yeah,
team?
He was part of that trade.
He was part of the Brandon Ingram trade, and then they signed him to like a 3-year extension this offseason.
I thought he went to a different team though.
Huh? And who do they have for a point guard down there now? Who's the kid from Portland?
Yes, I'm trying to think of his name. He beat Duke in the
McCollum.
McCollum, yes, and they just signed him to a massive extension.
They got McCollum, and they still got that young guy Alvarado. Coming off the bench. So
Josh Hart is in Portland now. Take that back. He's in Portland now because he was in that trade.
That gave him McCollum.
You're right. You are right. Thank you for correcting me.
Sorry.
You're good. No, I'd rather have the right information. All right, my team, because Kevin took mine.
Of course he did.
Always does. I'm actually And it's
Oh my God! Sorry, guys. Just this man Hartenstein is just wheeling and dealing right now.
Okay, I'll pay attention when it comes back up on my screen. The one
Sorry, I just had
that was hysterical. Oh my goodness. The one team I hope does well because they keep getting top draft picks. I actually am intrigued to see what Orlando can do.
Mm.
I think, are they a bottom feeder again? Yes, they are definitely a bottom feeder team. But you brought in the number 1 draft pick. You have some decent talent around you. Cole Anthony is, if he's not in Orlando, say Cole Anthony was on the Celtics, the Knicks, or the Lakers, or the Bulls,
Right.
We're talking about Cole Anthony every day because Cole Anthony is that kind of player.
Right.
He's in Orlando, he becomes non-existent, except for when he decides to dunk in Tim's on a basketball court. Please never do that again. That was horrendous. But I would say that
terrifying because he could have
screwed his ankles up.
Yes.
Lost his career.
Or tore up a knee.
Oh yeah. And then another team I'm just going to throw out here because none of us have said it. The Houston Rockets.
Honestly, I
think they're going to be your surprise.
I think Orlando. Here's what I think. I think Orlando. If you put the right coach in Orlando, that team can be.
Who's the coach down there right now?
That's how bad it is. I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I don't know either. Last I knew was like Van Gundy, and that was like years ago.
But if you think about it, they have 3 guys that are over 6'10" that can shoot and post.
Yep.
They got 3 of them. They got the one kid. They got the kid Wendell Carter they got from the Bulls in the Bulls trade. He's over 6'10", and he's the guy that's like the rim runner or the shot blocker.
He's also like got handles.
Yeah,
we have to remember that all these guys can handle the ball.
Right. So and then Panchero is 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". Right, and he's playing in the mid post. So they have so much talent, so much raw.
Wait, are we talking about the Magic or the
Magic?
Magic. Okay.
But they have so much raw talent. If you could get the right coach there, yeah, I think, and Merritt would agree with you guys. Agree with me. I think once you figured out through the weeds, like who was better than who, you would probably have to get rid of some of those guys. Yeah. Because you couldn't keep all the 7-footers there. It just makes no sense. You would have to get rid of some of the 7-footers, some of the taller guys that you have on the team, because you need to get some other players or wings into the program, right? So you would have to but you'd be able to get some guys back. But if you got the right coach in there, those guys would be freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You got Cole Anthony, got Panchero. Gary Harris, when he does come back from his injury, is a very good player. He's not overly hyped, but he is a very solid player. And you always need those type of guys.
They have. I'm looking at the roster right now, so let me listen to this. And a lot of these are like recent, like
they're all young.
Traffic.
Yeah. They are young.
I'm starting. So let's go. You have Jonathan Isaac. These 2 guys that I'm not even gonna read their names because I don't know how to pronounce their names. I'm so sorry. Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero.
I totally forgot about Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, see?
He had a massive knee injury, and he's very lucky he's not playing all year.
You have R.J. Hampton, Mo Bamba, Bull is on this team,
and Bull's coming off of not playing last year because of a knee injury.
Yeah, you have Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Moritz Wagner. You also have Franz Wagner. You had Admiral Schofield, their
no relation
last year. Yeah, Terrence Ross is probably the most tenured person on this team.
Yeah, he's the oldest. He's 30-something.
And then Wendell Carter and Cole Anthony. And their head coach is Jamal Mosley.
Didn't Jamal Mosley play in the NBA?
Yeah, he did.
No, did he play in the NBA?
Yeah.
Jamal Mosley. That name sounds very, very familiar.
He played. He had a handful of years in the league. He bounced around.
I feel like he was the last time I knew one of the teams he played for, I think, was the Bulls. I don't know why that's sticking in my head.
The Bulls or the Rockets. I know it was a team already.
Yeah.
But as you read those off, Kevin, what I would like you to look at is look at their heights and you tell me the height.
They're I think the minimum height requirement to be on the team is 6'10".
See?
It's crazy.
Terrence Ross and
Cole
your
Anthony,
guards
the
are your
smallest.
shortest guys because Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, and Terrence Ross are not tall human beings. They're tall, but not NBA tall human beings.
I think they're like six. Like you have, I think 6'2", 6'1", and then Terrence Ross is I think 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, 6'4" is like 6'4", 6'5".
That is
Cole
crazy.
Anthony's like 6'3", and Markel's 6'2", I think, is what they're around.
I mean, I have the damn page on here.
I have the damn page.
Suggs
okay.
Suggs is like 6'3".
Merritt, you are correct. Cole Anthony is 6'3".
That was a shot in the dark.
Terrence Ross is 6'7".
Oh wow, taller than I thought he'd be.
So Gary Harris is also on the tall, not the taller end, 6'4". Markelle Fultz is also 6'4". But and then you keep going.
Markelle Fultz plays like he's smaller.
Then you keep going. Bol 7'2". Mo Bamba 7 feet. Paolo Banchero 6'10". Jalen Suggs 6'5". Then Jonathan Isaac, he's 6'10". 6'8". 6'8". Let's see. Oh my God,
These guys would make all of us look like midgets.
Yeah.
Wagner 6'11". The other Wagner 6'10". Schofield. Oh, this is the other smallest. He's 6'5". Admiral Schofield 6'5". And Wendell Carter Jr. 6'10".
So they have the second tallest lineup besides the Thunder, rather.
And Admiral Schofield is actually he plays in the post. He doesn't.
Yes.
He plays in the post.
He's like whatever.
When he was at Tennessee, he played.
Yeah,
he was like their power forward.
Yeah,
he's good. All right.
Good God.
But that goes to show you. But that goes to show you. Like in Houston, the thing I said when you said Houston, I think it'd be a good team, but they have to. Again, that's another team. You have to figure out. You have a youth movement going on. Figure out which way you want to go. Who is your guy? Like if the guy,
we already know who their guy is. We all know that it's
Jalen Green. Right?
It's Jalen Green.
But I'm saying if Jalen Green's going to be your guy, but the pick they made this year during the draft kind of scratches your head because they brought in somebody in the draft that they were sitting there saying in the draft that the draft coach were he shoots jump shots, he opens up the lanes for Jalen and the rest of them. My problem with that is where you want him to play at because you need a guy in the post. You got rid of your guy that was in the post. You got rid of him. You need a guy that you got to stick in the post because he's got to play Anthony Davis. He's got to play the bigger guys. Who
are you talking about? Houston?
Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith has got to play the bigger guy now.
Well, Jabari Smith's 6'11".
Yeah,
right, but
he's a big guy.
The guy that he's an outside guy.
No, he could play inside. He played inside and outside in college.
You think he'd be able to battle those guys down low?
And also you have Boban. Stop. They have Boban. That's all that matters. The guy is 7'5".
Oh, well, that'll be fine. And yeah, he'll start every game.
Yeah, they have Boban.
Will not be able to last like more than like 20 minutes.
He's 7'4". Let's see. They have Bruno Fernando, who used to play for the Celtics. He got traded down there with Schroeder, who's actually a pretty good high energy type, like power forward. But you are right. They are small. They are a smaller team. The biggest thing they need to figure out is what are they going to do with Eric Gordon? Are they going to keep him or are they going to let him go and trade him somewhere else?
Well, that was the other thing. If we had kept talking about the Lakers, I was going to be honest with you. That would be another player I could see them making a move to get because with all the young talent that they have on the team, they really don't need anything coming back. They could get rid of Gordon and just take whatever crap you want to send them and roll with it.
The oldest player that's not Boban or Eric Gordon is 25 years old on this team.
Yep.
And who the hell is that?
Garrison Matthews, shooting guard.
Not a clue who the hell that is.
I don't know either. He's a white kid.
Shout out to him.
Good for you, buddy. Like, seriously. Okay, we're going to move on. And this is going to be quick because we've been talking about this stuff forever. No explanation on your top 10 teams. from each conference. Just list them out. Cyrus, go first.
Oh my God, 10 teams.
It's your
each?
top 10 because that's
Like,
what we
From the
overall.
league, do you want it from the league or from the league or from
overall.
overall? Okay.
It says each conference.
Stop it. I'm changing it.
Okay.
I have to because we are running so long.
I mean, that's why I was like, we don't need to talk about the other topic today because this is gonna take over the whole thing.
All right.
And we didn't even go over season awards yet.
Okay. All right.
My God. Okay, we're not. Everyone that's listening right now, we're not going to talk about the NCAA. We'll probably do that next week. We'll talk about that next week.
I'll be back. I'll be back for that next week. Fine. I'll come back.
Oh
for
my
that
God,
week.
you guys! You are. I don't even know what I'm going to do to you two. I might kill you both. I might.
So, do you want me to get my 10 or what?
Yes, go.
Okay, all right.
Go.
And do it per conference this time around now, since we're going to just talk about NBA.
Yes, per conference.
Per conference. All right. I'm doing 5 each conference, right?
No, 10 from
10
each conference because it's been the top 10 teams make the playoffs now.
Okay. All right.
And it does not have to be 1 through 10. It's
Oh no, I got you.
okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Cy.
Sixers, Boston, Heat, Charlotte. It's 4.
That's 4. You got 4.
Chicago, Milwaukee, 7. I think roll down. Brooklyn. That's 7, right? That's 7 or 8. Gotta be 8.
Yeah.
That's 8.
Honestly, I don't think there's 10. Honestly, I can't think of other ones that are really that much better. I can only think of 8. That's really because there's everybody.
We'll rock it at 8 if anything.
All right. Well, you also have, Toronto. You have the Knicks. You have let's see. Why am I forgetting a certain team? Oh, the Pistons, the Cavaliers.
All right, Cavaliers. You can throw the Cavaliers in there.
Okay.
All right.
That's pretty much all the teams.
Western Conference. Just do 8. Just do your top 8. Make it.
No, I was going to do. I could do 10. I was just trying to figure. Golden State, Clippers. You got Minnesota's going to be in there. As bad as they are, just too talented not to be. You have Phoenix. Utah's going to be in there. They always make the playoffs, even with the baddest teams they are. They always do make the playoffs. Denver. The Pelicans are going to be in there. That's tough. You're right. Hold on. I got.
You gotta get the list up. I think you need the list.
I have the list up on my phone. The Nuggets. Did you say Denver?
Yeah, I did say Denver.
You have Portland.
No.
You have the Grizz.
Memphis will be there. I believe that San Antonio will be there. They will be in the mix. I said New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. No,
Okay.
Dallas and the Dallas Mavericks.
Perfect.
Okay.
Kevin, go.
Sure. No problem, sir.
No stress whatsoever, buddy.
All right. Well, I have all the teams listed. So what I'll do is I will take 10. I will take every single team from the Atlantic Division. So that is 5. So Boston, Brooklyn, New York, Philly, Toronto.
Okay.
Followed by that, I'm gotta take my guy Giannis and the Bucks. That's 6. I'm gonna take the Cavs with their improved roster at 7. I will go ahead and take Cyrus's team, the Chicago Bulls, at 8. And then in 9 and 10, I'm going with the Charlotte Hornets. and the Miami Heat.
I was waiting for you to say the Heat. I was like, oh, geez.
I was gonna say leave the Heat out. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah, that'd been
Well,
bad.
sorry, I was reading from left to right on the screen. It started with the Atlantic Division first, so I would
Okay.
go with that way.
All
All
right.
right. So, my Western Conference teams, that I think are playoff bound. I am going. We will go Golden State for sure, Phoenix for sure, Clippers with the John Wall led Clippers, and damn, we didn't even talk about that move. John
Oh,
Wall
no
going to the
one-
Clippers.
no one
Totally
did.
forgot about that one. But
Honestly, yes, that's it. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead, finish.
I
Forgot
know
about
it's we'll talk about it a little bit. But so that's three. From the Pacific, I like Luca and Dallas. The Grizz, New Orleans is really awesome. So that's 6 right there. Denver with a healthy Jamal Murray.
And Kevin
And
Porter.
then
And Porter.
yeah.
Is Porter back yet, though? I thought he
Porter-
wasn't coming back until mid-season.
But he's still be back for the season though. Let's say it's
that's good.
He'll be back for the season.
Okay, so that's 7. I'm gonna go Minnesota 8. And then these last two are gonna be tough. But I'm gonna go with I love Dame. I'll take Portland, and I will take my Los Angeles Lakers coming in at 10th, fighting it out.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it may not even have it that way, but like
true.
when there's a will, sometimes there's a way.
Man, face is the best. He's just like,
Oh God.
Right.
If the Lakers win more than 30 games this year, I will be shocked. I honestly, that's how bad I think they're going to be. This is probably going to be LeBron's worst year since his rookie year. With everything. All right, I'm going to start with the Western Conference. Golden State, Dallas, Denver, the Pelicans, the Clippers, of course, the Suns, the Timberwolves, Utah. No, actually, not Utah. Screw Utah. Memphis, Portland, and then my surprise team, who I think is going to figure this stuff out because they look like they were going to last year. I'm going to sneak in the Rockets. I'm going to sneak the Rockets in there. Mainly because that young team, if they can click at the right time and they can play the way that we saw them play last year in spurts, if they can keep that spurt going for a longer period of time, that is a scary team for any of the top teams any team in the NBA. So I think that, sorry, Kevin, your Lakers will not make the playoffs. Neither will the Utah Jazz, or the Kings, or the San Antonio Spurs. But Eastern Conference, of course.
Celtics, yep, you already knew that team.
The Celtics. I can't even.
We're live. We're live, as Chris would say.
Oh boy. The Celtics, the Hawks, the Cavs, Heat, Milwaukee, Nets, Toronto, Philly, the Hornets. And I think Cyrus is going to hate me for this one, but I'm going to have to go with the Knicks. Cyrus, the only reason I say that is because the Bulls team last year, after Ball went down, fell apart. And you may not have him again for this year. That's the only reason. If Ball was playing right now, if he was healthy, he was good to go, I think the Bulls are a top 3 team.
I agree with that because I had that conversation. I actually had a conversation with my dad because my dad was asking me about it. Shout out to my dad, who's a huge Sixers fan. I said to him, he's like, what do you think about your Bulls? I said, the thing is, they built this team with Lonzo being the linchpin, being the guy, the glue guy that does all the little stuff. And he's never been really healthy. No. And I think that's the thing with a lot of NBA players. If you're not healthy or reliable, it's tough for me to sit there and say I can build the team not around you, but build pieces around you to work. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
tough.
I can't put like this circle in a square peg. Like
Right.
I need to have the circle. I need
Right.
you. I need this. Yeah.
Right. It's just and with the I see it. I
Oh
see.
my gosh, that's awesome. Everyone, that you will not see that come up, but Kevin decided to write in the chat that the Pelicans are currently beating the Brooklyn Nets 58-50 at halftime. And
Wow.
hold on, I'm looking at the stats for
I
this.
just saw the highlights.
And then
Zion is
it's
looking
scary.
fun.
Oh.
He's running up and down the floor, smiling, laying the ball up, spin move, dribble through the legs.
Dude, their 5 out of their 4 starters already have double digit points for the Pelicans.
No, it's
Let's see the
crazy.
Nets. Durant has 21. The
Oh.
next closest is Claxton with 9.
That's crazy.
Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons has 2. Oh, yeah, I know.
Kyrie Irving has 4.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I had
you. Thank you, baby Jesus, for this. Like this just made my day.
I had to drop the bomb there.
But Cyrus, if Kobe White can actually again stay healthy,
Right.
he's a lesser version of Lonzo, like in a certain aspect. Sure. He's probably a better shooter than Lonzo Ball is, especially when he was at UNC. He was a phenomenal 3-point shooter, but I think they just miss it. I love Zach LaVine. I love the team that they're building. I think they're there, but they don't have that point guard anymore.
And I think that's part of the problem. They don't have the point guard, and not that I don't love Vucevic, right? I just don't think that with all the players that they have, which there are a lot of perimeter players, you need a guy that you can put down in the post that you can get me 10 to 15 points. Yes, I know it's old school and everybody hates it, but it works. All the dynasties, all the teams that have won have shown it. If you got a guy that you can put down and give me 10 or 15 points when the game gets tough. I'm not talking about when the game's in the flow and everything. I'm talking about when the game slows down and everything gets stopped. That when you put a guy down the post, give me 10, 15 points, or be productive enough to take up like 5 minutes of time. I think that rounds out the team, but they don't have that. And Vucevic is not that guy. Vucevic is a stretch 5 that can take the other guy's man. But defensively, he's so bad. He just doesn't do anything. And if he's not on, he's no good to you. And that's a problem. Especially if you're hoping to win, you got LaVine, you got Debo, you have some assembly of a point guard, and you got Patrick Williams, and now you got the kid from Illinois and a couple other rookies that are very promising. You need that guy that can put it all together down low, and they just don't have it right now. They need that guy.
Yep. All right, here we go. This is going to be the fun part because this is going to get everyone really heated, I think.
Are we what is it? Seasonal awards?
I'm not caring about those. Those don't mean anything.
Okay.
I forgot about that, Kevin. Thank you. Yes, we will do that after. You reminded me. You have that up on your phone?
I do.
Okay, cool. No. I want NBA Finals predictions and your NBA champ.
Okay.
And this is good.
I'll let Kev go first.
Here's the thing. This is going to be written down. So after the season is done, we will get back together. And whoever is, whoever picks the right one or, whatever wins. We're not going to win anything. You're just going to get a round of applause. But Kevin.
The season's over in June, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how about this? right? I have this house that we can technically, if you want to do a podcast, if we all start, well, we could. Maybe I provide the winner or whatever it is. We do drinks or shots or something over it.
Ooh, I like this idea.
I like this idea as well.
All right, I like this. All right, I will. Kevin and I can bring our mics and we can make it a fun little podcast. All right, we're good. All right, we'll do that.
I have a family room that has a TV right behind it, so we can watch TV and all kinds of other stuff.
Everyone, you hear this? Everyone is listening to this, right? Cyrus is giving us his home for an after NBA party where the three of us are just going to come together and talk the NBA season and drink.
Yo, I
live on
live.
The podcast. Kevin will throw it up on Insta, all that fun stuff.
Yes.
Oh God, this is going to be horrible. Okay, so Kevin, with that, because I don't want Cyrus to back out. So, Kevin.
Yes.
NBA Finals prediction and NBA champ prediction.
Okay, NBA Finals. Coming out of the East as of October 19th, 2022 at 8:50 p.m. My Eastern Conference champs will be the Boston Celtics.
All right.
It really hurt my heart there too because I love Giannis. I really do.
They're hurting they're gonna hurt without Middleton. He's out for a while.
Yeah, I love Giannis. I just don't know if he has the power in himself to just will that team again. But I like Boston.
But you know what I'm gonna say with that one? You know how we were talking about midseason trades?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that the next time you think about,
if we have to change our pick or something.
Well, no,
or I do a different set of picks.
Yeah, because you think about it, because if Milwaukee's having this same problem, they don't have Middleton, right?
Yeah,
they could theoretically get a guy like they can get a guy like not saying Russ, but they can go out and get a guy like Bradley Beal or something like that. You got to drop whatever money you got to bring him in. If he he just re-up, right? Am I saying that right, Merritt? Bradley Beal just re-up, right?
Yeah, he just signed a massive. He signed the max deal, so it's stupid money.
Saying, but if you can get a player like that on his last year or 2 years left on this deal, because Middleton's going to be out, that may be a mid-season trade where you see that 3-team trade come in and you get that guy to loop in and just drop into his spot. But go ahead, Kev.
All good. Western Conference. I feel like this is the first prediction. It's the beginning of the season, first day of all the games happening. I feel like I want to do something different, but it's just that I'm looking at the teams right now.
Go ahead, say it.
But I think coming out of the West, it's gonna be part 2 of the Celtics and the Golden State Warriors.
And then who wins it?
I may have bias on this one.
Cyrus just dying.
But
I don't know what the hell's happening over there.
Because I know what he's going to say. Because I'm reading Kev. I know what he's going to say.
Yep, me too. It's hysterical.
He's trying not.
Go ahead, type it out. Type it out, Merritt. Yeah, it is. I think Joe Mazzulla is going to lead them to a championship to keep his job.
I don't even think he needs. If the Celtics make it to the playoffs, have a winning record, and make it to the second round or Eastern Conference Finals with Joe Mazzulla, I think you keep him and you let Ime walk. That's my prediction. That's my thought. It could happen. I don't know. We're not going there. I'm
saying he's walking regardless of the fact he's going either way.
That's true. He's screwed. So
that's my prediction right now. I just don't see the way the teams are structured right now, unless there's a move that happens this offseason. I just feel like this is inevitable again. And I think the Celtics take it for a possible rubber match in 2024.
Oh boy.
There you go.
All right, Cyrus, I'll let you go next.
I'm going to go with, until I seen that score that he just put up there, I was going to go with the Brooklyn Nets because I thought they were actually going to somewhat turn around.
No, they're going to be god awful.
Hey, listen, I gave him as much faith as I could, and it just didn't work out.
There's no faith left in that
yeah,
team.
I know. I'm going to go with part 2 of the Celtics and Golden State. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. I think that Golden State's going to win, but it's going to be by the skin of their teeth, though.
Yeah,
It's not going to be because I think that the Celtics. I think that the Celtics and their big 3 players, Brogdon, Tatum, and Brown will come out, and I think it'll just be a matter of the others having to put in work, and they're just not going to be able to deal with the other Golden State others. Oh. Like Golden State has 3 or 4 other guys that can go off and play anywhere else and start, and so there's no way in the world that if they get hot, you're going to sit there and stop them. It just doesn't work out that way.
Well, we're just going to do a clean slate here of NBA final predictions. I'm going with the Celtics and Warriors. I was going to think, I was trying to think of a different team that wasn't, the Warriors. The only other team that came to mind, and if they stay healthy and can move forward, is the team that has your 2-time NBA MVP in the Joker on the team.
Yeah,
I could see them if they're healthy and they make that run at the right time, because we all know that Steph doesn't play a full season. Draymond can't play a full season.
Right.
Klay Thompson still coming back from a big time injury where he didn't play basketball for basically like 2 years. But I think the Warriors still edge it out, mainly because of what we've already discussed. They have players on their bench that should be starting on other teams.
Right.
So, but the only thing is Kevin and I are in the same boat. I think the Celtics edge it. I honestly think they do. I think the Celtics added exactly what they needed to not just beat the Warriors in the finals, but to beat all the other teams along the way. They brought in a Brogdon. So like, say they have to go up against the Bucks again in the finals, Eastern Conference Finals, or whatever it is. You brought in Brogdon. Guess what? Brogdon's going to go sit his butt on Middleton. You're good.
Right.
Oh, Marcus Smart's going to go up against Drew Holiday. I will pick Marcus Smart every day of the year.
That's a toss-up, but I agree with you. I agree. It's a toss-up.
It is, because they both basically cancel each other out on each side. What, you're going to bring in Pat McConnell for your small forward? He's pretty decent, but I'll give the edge to Jalen to Brown. I'll give you the edge. Giannis isn't a power forward. Giannis is a center, technically, if you want to classify him correctly. He is a center. So you're going to put Rob Williams on him and Rob Williams going up against him is phenomenal, or even Horford. And Jason Tatum's going to take whoever scrub they sign up to play at that point. So I think they've really structured this team not just to win this year, but to have a chance to win over the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and that's why I said to you earlier, I thought that was a good deal for them, because it helped them out in the long run, especially like when it comes to, like I said, settling them down. And then when you get to that lineup, you don't necessarily say you don't have to have a natural 5 in there, but if say you do, Tatum is a mismatch for anybody, because Tatum is 6'8", 6'9", can shoot and get to the rack. Most guys this size are not going to be able to do that. And then if you do get that guy that is that mismatch, Jason Tatum is that dog on defense now, where he's going to take that challenge to play him on defense. So they definitely have gotten everything there. It just a shame everything's happened the way it did with the way the organization is. But things do happen for a reason, and life goes on. So
shit happens. Party naked. Don't do that. Don't actually do that, please. If you're listening, don't actually do that. You did not hear that from me.
Although I'll say this real quick, and then we can get past it. But I'm fine. What's the coach now of the Celtics?
Joe Mazzulla.
Missoula. If I'm Missoula, if I do accept that contract, I will make sure I have words and strong things. Anything that happens inside the organization stays inside the organization. None of this should ever, regardless of what it is, should ever get out. If it does, me and you can part ways. I still get my money, you get your money. I can do what I need to do. Because that was no offense to any person. I don't care if they're black, white, green, whatever they are. Nobody's business should get put out like that. Nobody's business. You can say I suspended him for chewing dirt. I don't care. Just to say you suspend him for a year. It's an in-house situation. You move on. All the social media crap and everybody, no offense to the podcast. No, everybody finding out what's going on about my personal life when it shouldn't is wrong. It's just wrong.
Well, he screwed the pooch, so
yep.
Bye. Let's move on to the next guy. All right. So here's the fun part. Kevin and I totally spaced this because it's been a busy week. But Kevin reminded me. So we saw this on Instagram. It's from Slam. It's some of their writers and editors. They did the NBA season awards, which I don't agree with 95% of what I see here.
I don't see 100% of it.
But we are going to go through this. Just because of time and everything, do not explain why. Just kind of go through, list off your guys. If we have time next week, maybe we can touch on it again and be like, here's the explanation. But so Cyrus, we will start you off. And Kevin, did you share with him the list?
Yeah.
Okay. So just go down. I'm gonna write it. Basically.
I wrote it down.
Can we do like MVP, Cyrus, me, you, and then just continue defensive player of the year, Cyrus, me, you?
I wrote it down the way that they had it in there. Is that the way you want me to give it to you?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta type everything. So go ahead.
All right. So for my MVP, I got Embiid. Defensive player of the year, I got Embiid. Scoring leader, I got Durant. No, I squashed that. Bradley Beal. No, Durant. Stay with Durant. Sorry. Rookie of the year, Panchero from Orlando. Most improved, Tyrese Maxey from the Sixers. And the comeback player of the year, Jamal Murray.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dude, I'm still typing.
You're crushing it right now. Absolutely crushing it.
I love Merritt's focus. It's great.
He's doing great. He's doing a great job.
This is what I do. This is what I signed up for, right? By deciding, let's do a podcast. Oh God.
And have Kevin on it, the struggle.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh, wait, you do. You have to deal with me, so it's okay.
I worked with him for 5 years. I know. I understand.
I went to school with them.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
All right, sorry, Cyrus. All right, Embiid for MVP. Embiid for
defensive player of the year.
Scoring leader was Durant.
Yep.
Rookie of the year is Banchero.
Most improved is Tyrese Maxey.
I would agree to that one. Maxey looked great last night. And then comeback is Murray.
Yep.
All right. Doing it by last names. Kevin.
Yes.
Give it to me, bud.
All right. So my MVP, and just for the sake of being different, I'm going with my guy from Dallas, Mr. Luka Doncic.
Ooh, good choice. Defensive player.
Defensive player of the year, I am going to go with Miami's finest, Mr. Bam Adebayo.
All right, Mr. I'm going to complain because I should have gotten it last year. Wah, wah, wah. Okay.
So he'll earn it again this year.
Nope.
What do I got? Scoring leader?
Yes, sir.
Scoring leader. That one's a tough one. Scoring leader.
Honestly, Cap, just think about the best player on the worst team that has scored the most points. That's the easiest way to remember.
That is honestly.
That's
it was the only one on this list I agreed with, and I was gonna go with Damian Lillard. Go on, Dame.
I can see that.
Because who else is he with? He's just carrying that Portland team.
Like always.
Yep. Rookie of the year. I just saw his name written down. I'm gonna go. Speaking of the Kings, I'm gonna go Keegan Murray. Because let's be real, there ain't nobody who on that damn Kings team. You have De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. I think Keegan Murray could be that possible third option. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but when you're on a really terrible team, you kind of don't really have too many options. So you give yourself a shot. Most improved player. This was a very interesting one because I had a couple guys in mind. I like that Maxi pick that Cyrus had. But like the trend that you always kind of see with this award is like they kind of give it to a guy that's good and then he just explodes to be even better. So this is going to seem like an odd one. I'm going to go Anthony Edwards because I think he takes this next step in being a star. Similar to how Ja Morant won this award last year, even though everybody knows Ja is a friggin' stud. I know, Cyrus, you're giving me that look, but hear me out on this one.
No. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying that it's not. I understand the pick. I get it.
Yeah. And then for me, comeback player of the year is I love this player ever since when he came out of the University of Kentucky, and I really hope he kills it for the Clippers. I'm going with John Wall.
Really can't be comeback player of the year if you really never went anywhere, but that's fine.
I mean,
he hasn't played in 2 years.
And played
by choice.
Hey,
no, it was not all by choice. This past year was by choice because of mental health issues that he was going through, because he almost died during COVID. His mom and grandmother died during COVID, and he almost committed suicide because of it.
Understandable.
That man went through hell and back.
That's understandable.
All right, Merritt, who do we got, sir?
Hell if I know. I didn't do my homework.
Probably other guys from Boston.
No. I think your scoring leader, I do think is going to come from Boston. I think Tatum is going to be your scoring leader. Last night, he and Jaylen Brown went off for 70 points combined. That's fucking ridiculous. MVP. This one is tough because there's really only a few good players that fit that mold as an MVP. I'm going to lean with Kevin. I'm going to go with Luka. I love Embiid, but he's always going to be the best player on a mediocre team. That's
but the reason I said Embiid, though, in all fairness, the reason I said Embiid was because he really should have had the award last year, but for some reason they decided to give it to Jokic. So I think this year, I think it's some kind of things. Just like you could give it to whoever it is every year, but you got to switch it up. And I think with Murray coming back and then seeing Embiid still put up the same numbers or damn near close to it, and getting them maybe a game or two closer to the finals or even in the conference finals, they'll just be like, okay, well, at this point, we're just going to give it to him so that way he has his and then we can move on from him type of deal.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, I can see that. Defensive player of the year. This is where I'm going to stay with be a homer. I think Smart wins it again. I think
not a bad choice at all.
He started off the season off on a great foot. He literally allowed 3 points on any of the defensive possessions that he guarded somebody. Like I will give that to him time and time again. Rookie of the year. I don't really know majority of these rookies, but I think the two that kind of come up to mind are Banchero and then Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith and Benchero and Chet were the top 3 choices. And literally up until draft day, no one knew who was going to go first.
Right.
Jabari Smith was projected to go first. Then all of a sudden, Benchero. Chet wasn't even ever projected to go first for a while. I like Jabari Smith. I think he's also on a team that caters to that style of play.
Yeah.
He has Jalen Green around him. He has, oh God, who's the other kid? They just signed a contract extension to.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Like, you have 3 really good young studs. You have a whole plethora of young talent around you. I now look at Eric Gordon and Boban as your 2 guys that are going to sit there and say, hey, guess what? We're just here to help you guys. We're not here to take minutes away. We're not here to do anything crazy.
Right.
We're here to help you guys succeed. And then I think that's where Eric Gordon's in the last year of his contract, I believe. So let him ride off. You know, I say they make the playoff. Like I said, I think they make the playoffs. So let him ride off into the sunset as being one of the best scoring, shooting guards to ever step on the basketball court. So I think that's what you got. Most improved, super hard, because it's the same idea as what Kevin said. They usually give it to somebody that's on a good team that is potentially going to be an all-star. But I'm leaning with Cyrus. Maxey is going to, and he earned his spot last year in the playoffs.
Definitely.
And I think the 76ers at the end of the day are going to look at it and go, we don't need the guy we just signed to a contract extension. We don't need Harden. Because though Harden was the leading scorer for the 76ers last night, there's a lot of times during that game, if you guys both watched it, he looked awful. Like you do.
He's still a step and a half behind the other guy. It doesn't make any sense to me, though.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like when you cross up Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart and airball a shot that is literally like a layup to you, something's wrong. And comeback player of the year is Mr. Dougie himself. It's going to be John Wall. I just loved watching him do the Dougie on TV, and you can see he's so happy. The joy of playing basketball is back for this man after all the stuff.
Do you remember the dance?
Dude, the
John Wall. Oh
John.
My God. I'm so old. Kids saw this, they'd laugh. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Repping for my city, repping for my state, whatever it was. And he's like, I'm doing the John Wall.
Yeah.
John Wall. I was like, oh my God.
Man.
I can't. Yeah, I remember doing that dance. Yeah. Wow, I feel old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, so this section, usually I do everything in yellow, so we know we've talked about everything. This is going to be green. So, guys, after the NBA season, like we said, we're all going to get together. We're going to do a live podcast. This is what we're going to talk about. Were we right? How close were we? Who, really, it's going to be this.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we want to do like an all-star break version together where we choose again, or do we change it? Or do you want to just leave it like this way?
Do you want to change? You want to do?
If you want to do any changes from the all-star break?
No, I don't think so. I think
all right.
Because I find
that's a suggestion.
I think this is more interesting because this is no data, no nothing given to us.
It's true.
We are going off of our own gut instincts instead of, oh, let's do all-star. Oh, you know what? I really think this guy's going to win it now. Well, no one even talked about him. Okay, well, what are you taking this from? So I think let's go with gut instinct. I think when we get to closer to the NBA all-star break, we'll definitely have another episode where Cyrus will draft a better team than both Kevin and I. And we'll watch that happen, and we'll pick our own all-stars like we did last year. I think that was fun. So get ready for that, everybody. Listen to us draft our non-existent all-star team. We'll never be a part of it, but yes.
That's gonna be hard with 3 of us. So if anything, one of us would just have to judge.
I'll judge because my team was better last year. So I'll judge.
All right. I was gonna say I could judge.
Ooh, okay. And let Cyrus and I just yell at each other.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'll be the typer for once.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
cool.
We'll put your little Filipino fingers to the test.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Oh man, this episode went off the rails like the other two.
It's all good. It's over. A great start to this season.
All right, Kevin, did we miss anything?
No, I think we literally hit every piece of the NBA season other than All-Stars, but that's going to be another own podcast that you guys will see at some point.
Closer towards February.
Towards February.
Yeah.
But I think we could. I think we're good. I think, Merritt, you have trivia for us, so I'm very excited.
Do. So here's the question. Kevin, do not look at the sheet because I do have to unhighlight.
I am not on the sheet right now. Perfect. I am looking at something different.
Okay. So which NBA team has the most players in the Hall of Fame?
Boston Celtics.
Jesus Christ. This kid, we can't have him on anymore.
I think Cyrus, for every trivia we have had,
has
Cyrus has gotten all of them right. If we were to look back, I think Cyrus, you're the one, man.
Listen, I'm just.
I didn't even finish asking the question. He's like, Celtics. Jesus, bro.
It's like Cyrus sees the sheet right in front of him. I love
it. But you know what the funny thing is? There's certain things in basketball. It just because, let's put it this way: you can anything pertaining to championships, MVPs, or any sort of Hall of Famers. There's only 4, now 5. Now there's only 4/5 teams you can actually think about: Lakers, Celtics, Warriors, Bulls, Spurs.
See, I would have when I saw that trivia question, I thought it would have been the Lakers.
No. I mean, it would have been. I think the Lakers would have been close.
I bet they're number 2.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way: if they put Bron, Kobe just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So if you put Bron in, I guess if they were to put Bron in, if he was to be inducted as a Laker.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I don't know because.
Well, don't they? If somebody goes into the Hall of Fame, don't they represent all the teams they played for?
They do,
yes, but they retire as a specific team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So in the NFL, when Randy Moss went into the Hall of Fame, he played for the Raiders, the Vikings, the Patriots, and I believe he played for the Titans as well.
Yes.
At the back end of his career, and the 49ers.
Right.
He was asked, what team do you want to be retired as? You know what team he selected? And it wasn't the team that drafted him.
They said the Patriots.
Yeah, he said, I want to be retired as a Patriot.
So he signs like a one-day deal, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, I think he signs like a 1 day, a 1 hour, it's a deal with the NFL, because he does not have to retire as a Patriot to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a Patriot. It was just something that they get to select.
Right. So I think once LeBron goes in, that's only if he goes in as a Laker. If he doesn't go as a Laker, then it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, because they don't really have anybody else in the next team that you really have to look at would be like the San Antonio Spurs.
Or the Knicks.
Who just got in, huh?
The Knicks. Can't forget about the Knicks with their old teams.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of people that are retired.
I was getting ready to say, but who
they have they don't have a lot because Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're thinking the 70s, so like Phil Jackson, like Wallfly Frazier, Willis Reed, Red Holzman, their coach, Dave DeBuscher,
Yep.
Governor of New Jersey,
Bradley.
yeah, Bill Bradley.
Right.
That's only 6 people.
Glenn Cho just like made whoever on the Detroit Pistons look like a little child and dunked right over him.
Love it. I love it.
Oh my God. Like, Jesus. That dunk was. He was like, nope. Oh, no. Oh my gosh. His junk was in the guy's face. If you're a child, don't listen to that. What I just said. Kevin, get us out of here because
All right.
I need to stop.
I know. Yeah, because this is about to be a 2-hour podcast.
It is a 2-hour podcast again for 3 weeks in a row.
Shout out for another week in a row of this long podcast. It's just what we do here on the Manly Musings podcast. First off, as we always do, we give our flowers. We celebrate our friend Cyrus. Shout out to you and your basketball knowledge. We love it. We thoroughly enjoy it. Anything you'd like to say to our people, the fans? Any social medias you like them to follow you on?
I'm on Twitter. That's it. I don't do nothing else. I'm on Twitter. CKJ at CKJ.
Cool. Love it. We appreciate you. So, couple things. So make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, somehow go ahead and do this 2-hour long rant of the NBA. Make sure you're watching it at our YouTube page, the Manly Musings Podcast. Leave us some comments, leave us some likes. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you listen to us. We're on plenty of streaming platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Play. We are also on Amazon. So feel free to listen to us on Amazon. Follow Merritt at his Instagram at Merritt_P. Follow me at my Instagram at KateQuava624. Follow the podcast Instagram at the Manly Musings Pod. And if I may leave you with a little poem, we be in your city where we like to do the dance. Flex to the left, throw some money out your hands. Do it for the city, and we do it for the fans. To ball like Wall, boy, you gotta do the dance. Everybody do the John Wall. Take care, y'all. Good night.